Welcome back to the Heart Helper Podcast. I am your host, Jody Shannon, and we are on episode 50. Yes, you heard me right. We are on episode 50, and that might not seem like a lot to you, but it is a lot to me because I know the amount of work that Doja and I put into this podcast. So I am just so honored to be crossing this hump, going across this milestone. A lot of podcasts don't make it to episode 50, but I am so focused on being consistent because I do want to honor God by putting out everything that He has put in me. So thank you to everyone who has ever listened, liked, shared, or subscribed to the Heart Helper Podcast. I am so thankful. So thankful. I love you guys and I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. So thank you for your support. It means a lot to me. So we are on episode 50. I'm so excited. So this is part 2 of my interview with Aisha Ervin. If you guys listened to part 1, you know that it was a beautiful and blessed conversation where she shared a lot of her story, how she started in the adult industry and got out of that industry and really just became this mega media mogul. And my biggest takeaway from part 1 was that you don't have to finish your life in the manner in which you started. So we're going to pick right back up. This is part 2 of my interview with Aisha Ervin. And just to kind of give you guys a recap on who she is, because she is that girl, Aisha Ervin is the creator of Eline Media, and she is also the host of the Wilson A. Midday Show on 105.5 FM The King. So guys, let's get back into this conversation. I hope that you guys really take something from it, but we all have a story. And here at the Heart Helper, I'm just here to share those stories. So let's get into it. This is Aisha Ervin. Welcome to the Heart Helper Podcast, a spiritual space where we share extraordinary stories from everyday, ordinary people, because we truly believe that inspiration is far greater than influence. And I always say the only way to be abundant, because we all want to be abundant, let's be clear, not just financially, but I want to be abundant mentally,
yes,
spiritually, but the only way to be abundant is to be obedient.
Yeah.
And you have to, none of the things that we go through are by coincidence. So can you talk a little bit on your domestic violence situation?
I'm so, I used to couldn't even speak about it, so I just imagined that it wasn't there. And now I can look back and watch, my current husband used to be like, why, you always want to turn on these movies. And I was trained in some of those old school classes, don't share with your partner about your abuse because they might.
Yeah, they say that they'll use it against you.
Right, and that was from therapists.
Yeah.
That was from therapists back in the old days, right? And so I became very quiet,
You never really talked. Is the reason why you didn't feel comfortable about it, was it because of shame, or you just didn't want, or did you want to appear strong?
I didn't like who, I was still a kid then. I tie all of that, and I still tie that to that little girl who made those mistakes and went out and did. I tie all of that because I felt like when I got pregnant with my first son, I grew up. And I feel like that's when I became the person I am. Now I was on a road to become that person.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I almost was like, that never happened. That wasn't me.
Yeah.
I don't
know who that girl was. Yeah. Who? I don't know that, Jody. Don't tag me in no pictures from. Okay, right. Stop tagging me in those pictures.
You know what? That's why my social media people are like, I'm not that, so like, I'm in the media business.
Yeah.
But I don't let people on certain pages. I don't it's almost like I want to forget about the world until like recently last year I was just like,
talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's funny, it's not funny, but what's weird about it is that my ex-husband has been in jail for years. 15 years.
Real? What's he in jail for?
He's out now, but he was been for 15 for a bunch of stuff, armed robbery, a list of things.
Yeah. Was this the man that abused you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he got a little extra time on when it was time to sentence him because of the times he was caught in North Carolina at the time. They had a point system. And with that point system, he had domestic abuse charges. So at the end of that, the judge was very clear. You have these, and is this the woman in the court, your wife, that you? And so that tacked a little extra time on. But God works in mysterious ways. He got a little break off and got out a year early. I went back, but anyways, that's not his story. My story is, um, I when I began to tell the story, he was out, and nothing moved me to tell the story when he was in jail. And I always feel like it would meant something about that, like the fact that I had to stand in it because the first time I shared that story, it was replayed back. I was at a women's event, and he somehow was on my page, and my business page, and then has heard me share bits and pieces
about the things
Right.
that you guys
That's why
went
when
through.
that conversation we had at the radio station, I
Yeah.
was telling her, no, they watch, honey, they
Yeah.
watch. And
Always
so,
watching and keep watching.
yeah,
Hope
I
you
didn't
learn
know.
something. Yeah.
I didn't know he even knew about where I was at because so I felt like the guy was trying to tell me you got to share that story regardless of what,
Yeah.
And so I was very young, and I was young, and he was a church guy, We met in YCA, which was for kids that are at risk, so we should have known both of us for a little while. But it was so I never take away that we had really love like that. I think that was my love story. I'll never take that away.
Mhm.
Like that was a true love story. Our way of falling in love. That was a very true love story. And I honestly always say you don't know who you're gonna become. He was like he was a man. We were kids.
Yeah.
So I don't think he knew
He
what
did.
road he was going on.
Yeah.
Just like I didn't know what I was the wild one. He wasn't the wild one really. You know what I'm saying? I was the wild one.
Really?
So we didn't know. So I always, think about what that was. We were around friends, different people, and we accumulated a lot fast. We got into it. We both were in the military. Well, I joined the military because of him.
Mhm.
Coming from YCA, he had joined first. By the time I got into the military in a short period of time, my father had passed. I hadn't heard from him. He had proposed to me, and I had this big old ring. This cluster ring. People don't wear no wear a big old cluster ring. I was like, I don't, but I hadn't heard from
We're
him.
in love.
Yes, and he was off. But somehow, and that's why I said everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
I hadn't heard from him, but I knew he was stationed at Fort Bragg. And people back in the day, if you joined the Army back in the 1990s, from the end of the 90s, you couldn't decide where you were going. Nowadays, I think they give you like you can option. You didn't back then. You just got what you got. And everybody knew I wasn't dating nobody because I was in love with this guy I never talked to, right?
Wait, so you never talked to him?
We lost somehow. He stopped contacting me. To be honest, we talked all the time, but when I went in the military,
You guys lost.
we shouldn't have. I couldn't get in touch with him, and he was growing up. He was going through growing pains. He was growing up, and he chose not to speak to me because he was doing things as I came to find out. But I got orders to go to the same duty station he was at,
and you guys saw each other again.
This is how crazy it was. I've been a blonde since that year, but when I met when he graduated from schools, from different military schools, I went out there, right? So we went to basic AIT, and he was airborne. I went to his graduations. I had black hair.
Mm-hmm.
I had blonde hair for a long time. I had black hair, and I was just getting to Fort Bragg, and one of the guys at one of his graduations said, "Hey, you so and so's fiance, huh?" I had blonde, like bird blonde hair. Don't know. I think he knew me from my eyes. I don't know. I was like, yeah, why? And he went back and told him, and I get a call on a payphone in our receptionist place. And they're like, hey, is there, my maiden name is Wilson, that's why it's a Wilson name. Is there a Wilson somewhere? Wilson. Everybody looking for this Wilson. And it was him.
So before this, he had already given you a ring and proposed. And then you guys lost contact.
Yeah, we were high school, as you can say, YCA, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we had, during that period, I could tell things. I was kind of disappointed his brothers passed, and I was there for him. My father passed, and I hadn't heard from him.
Yeah.
And I hadn't heard. So when I got that, I'm like, okay, this must be love. This must be what it's supposed to be. I was very mad. And we rekindled that. And he was still the guy I knew. But it's a lot of pressure. Like we got back together, we rekindled, and I got pregnant like boom.
Right after.
Like soon as, right.
So you guys didn't have time to really reconnect, rebuild.
We got an apartment, and I was pregnant with it. We were living together, because we were going to get married. And
that was my man, my
man, for real. Like I was like, so it made only sense.
Yeah.
If we're already living together, are we gonna get married?
Why not?
Yeah. So, but we're young. I was 18. I joined the Army at 17. I was young, and he was young, and so it's a lot of pressure. And we both were from traditional backgrounds, so we wanted to do this traditional life.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're the man, I'm the woman. This, and I'm in the military, and it became pressure, and I can see that pressure now. And I was like, hey, very vocal. Hey, we need to do this, we need to do this. And I feel like he was living another life, and when I wasn't there, and so maybe not really wanting to have to work to provide. Now I want a house now. because everybody in the military got a house. So we going from apartment. I want to go get a house. Not realizing there's a lot of pressure. We just had an apartment for 1 year. We got to go get a house now. We got to have 2 cars.
And you have a family to take care of. Life changes quick.
And I do feel like there was pressure. And I would say this to women, like, because I see this in a lot of young women. Don't put your hands on no man, y'all women, okay? I don't care what y'all think. I don't care if he's the sweetest, because he was a sweet guy. But I would have to say, I would just like push and mush. Like, no. I was about like, I would do that stuff. And I shouldn't have done that at all. Now, his beating didn't come from that. I ain't do that today. But I realized nobody should put your hand, whether it's a push, a mush, you shouldn't put your hand on nobody.
Or in someone's face.
At all. No, you shouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And so it began, it wasn't a push and push that day. It was a moment of like, I would never expect it. And it was like, he wanted a friend to take my car and his car. Pouring out rain, and my baby was brand new baby. And I'm like, no, I want to go home and get, go to daycare, pick my baby and go home. I'm not letting your friend take my car. Why?
Yeah.
Like, that makes no sense. Like, and so you thought that was a simple argument. We were arguing. I was like, well, you get out. I put him out.
Of the house?
Of the car.
Okay.
Go get with your friend then. Go get your friend. And I came back from PT, and like a movie, literally for a lot of years, that it was so like a movie. Like him and a friend who I found out was beating his wife. And I think they were best friends, influenced each other a lot.
Iron could sharpen iron, or it could dull it.
He definitely dulled him. And it was just the worst, nothing you can imagine. Because you watch movies and it's like it's a smart remark or it's a slap. But no, like it was horrible. Like he chased me through the house, and was strangling to kill me, and picked up a 2x4 and continued to hit me with that.
With the 2x4.
So I jumped up. I jumped over the fence. I got scratched by the fence. My whole shirt came off, and I will never forget. His friend was sitting in a car with a smirk on his face, like a smile. And when I ran, he was still carrying his 2x4. I don't know if I passed out or came to, but what the next thing I remember seeing was a police officer was pulling him off me, hitting me with this 2x4. That first case, the police officer witnessed that.
Him abusing you.
Yeah. So that first time he went because the police officer witnessed, and I was so distraught. Like, this is the love of my life.
Why would he do that?
Like almost it was a dream. Like I didn't even, it wasn't even real to me. Like, how did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I went to the courthouse. He had to, because the police officer was a witness. He had to, he went to jail. He was out of the military at that time. He had a good job though. And now I have to make this make sense in my head. So now I have to go to court.
Yeah.
And I have to decide if I'm a liar or tell the truth. Do I want my husband to come home?
Yeah.
And have this newborn baby?
Because for one, you got to remember, you love this man.
Yeah.
This is your child's father.
It's the first time.
Yeah.
He just lost it because this is so
He's
crazy.
not going to do it again.
Yeah, because this is not how his character is. So, I'm just like, but it was really crazy. So I lie. I'm like, no, I remember I was like, I hit him with the 2x4 plane, and then
You said you hit him.
The judge was like,
the judge knew you were lying
because the police officer wrote a very detailed, and I don't know if I passed out, but parts of what was in the statement I don't remember. So when he came on the scene, so there was no going back. So because of that, the judge said, "Hey, we had to have these marriage counseling, so we had to do like 12 of them." I had to go to a domestic abuse. He had to go to anger management, and he had to check in so long. I was thinking, okay, he gets to get out. And the whole time he's cursing me out going home. Cursing me out. And I'm like, what?
I should have told the truth.
I didn't even know who I was living with. And from that point, it became
worse.
Yeah, it became like it was nothing. It became like, I don't know this person.
Did he start abusing you more after that situation?
Yes. It became like, you don't have anything that he didn't like, granted, a fight. Like, to the point where I felt like I was living in, I was like the Twilight Zone, like, horrible beatings, like not like, okay, like I didn't see that in the movies, and I have to be honest, I saw some domestic abuse in my house when my parents were together.
Yeah.
And my mother was very vocal, yelling, screaming, and she wasn't no punk. Okay, let me just say that.
My mom too. My mom would fight back.
Right. And so that, like, what I was dealing with, I hadn't seen that.
Yeah.
This was like, where they make these movies at? I didn't see. I had a friend that I was in the military with, and I thank God for. I know for a fact when they say people come in life for a season, she was my guardian angel. That her whole existence in my life is because of her strength that she had. And I remember he was mad. I had to take my baby had like some things going on with the stomach, and I had to take him to DC. And so as a soldier, I was like PFC. I didn't make a lot of money then, so I was like saving it because the army would reimburse you, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
was saving my money, and he was taking money. He also had a gambling problem, and other things going on, doing stuff I didn't know,
So he
and
was in a dark place that had nothing to do with you, which is why
nothing.
he was taking out his anger on you. Because I think sometimes when you're abused, you're like, well, did I do something? Did I say something?
Mhm.
But a lot of times people have so much going on and it has nothing to do with you.
I do think there are abusers that get off on it because they were raised in a certain thing. I don't think that was him. I do think he was in a dark
He was
place.
going through something.
Um, and I think I was mouthy, and I think I was like very assertive. Like this is what I want. I was taught that from my family,
Yeah.
a family of women. Um,
And he thought you should be submissive
I think it was
and
just a lot. I don't think he knew who he was becoming. I think it was just like, shut up, girl.
yeah.
Like, and I think he was in a dark place that I didn't even know he had a life like that.
Mm.
When we went to court in the trial, I was like, he was doing what? He was doing a lot of stuff. But I remember she would come in moments, and she had a big mouth, Letitia from Louisiana, and she would be like, "Where's my girl at?" And I remember I asked about something was so simple, and his friends were in back, and he grabbed me up and dragged me in front of his friends to the back of the room and was punching me to where I did pass out. I woke up, and he was tying a phone cord around my neck, hanging me in the closet, and I was
He was trying to
screaming.
kill you.
He was trying to kill me. I believed he was on drugs. The demon. I came
Had
from a
to
spiritual
be.
background, so I was thinking a demon
That's a
is inside of him.
spirit.
Like the way he looked at me is
It
like
wasn't him.
he hated me. Like, and I didn't even know why. I'm like, and
It was a spirit. Listen, spirits are real. Spirits of jealousy, spirits of like gluttony, they're all literally, it's a spirit on them.
he was he was like another person during that period of time. Like not the person I met in school, but that Letitia boy, my
Was she
baby,
there at the time?
she wasn't. It was just two of his guy friends who thought it was funny, who never came to the back to see why they didn't hear me. He left me. He closed a closet door on me, hung up in a closet. He wanted to kill me. Like he wanted to kill me. He left, and that's why I said God will send people in your life. She didn't know. She knew I was going through things and I was being private.
Mm-hmm.
My house had a porch, and my son's bedroom had a window that was, it was like you can be on a porch, and the window was on the porch. And she said she didn't hear me, and because I was in my bedroom and my son's room was in there. I don't know if my son was at daycare. I don't even know where he was at this time. And she cracked the window in my son's room and got into the house and found me in the closet.
Was she coming to visit you? Or she just had a
stopped
feeling?
by. Yeah. When I think about that,
And she found you hanging by a phone cord in the closet.
Yeah. She came, that girl
Wow.
came in moments. She was there. She was meant specifically to give me strength, even her personality. See, I was mouthy at him, but I was still to the outside world. People would say, because I was quiet. I was a quiet person. Like maybe mouthy in a way that maybe most people wouldn't think. I was quiet. I'm nothing like I am today. I was kind of quiet, and so her energy, she gave me so much life, like the way she spoke, like the way she commanded respect from people. Like I just always loved how she spoke. And she was there, so she got me out of there. But not the only time. That girl probably saved my life so many times during that year, and she constantly talked about it because the more she realized, you're not falling downstairs, you're not,
You're
she
being
was,
abused.
yeah.
She
I
knew.
would run to her house, like I would literally get my car, run to her house, and her husband, he told me not to come back. He was like, "Don't come back," because my husband would scare him. My ex-husband, my former husband, would scare him and be like, "I'll blow this house up. I'll be," but he would never come for Tisha. Tisha would get in his face by herself. My husband not around.
Yeah.
He wouldn't come, and he knew her husband was not really the bravest guy.
But she was.
Right. So it wasn't like I ain't gonna hit her because of her husband. He just stopped playing the game with her.
He knew. He
right.
knew.
He knew, And so it was a lot of incidents in that relationship. And again, it was now like embarrassment. Like, I'm crazy. Like, why did I pick this guy? Like,
it's
I can't
shameful.
go home.
Yeah.
Because at home, I made it when I was supposed to fail. Because at home, I was supposed to be nothing because, I lived that wild life as a teenager, so they weren't expecting
people were
me to be
expecting you to fail.
Yes,
but I always say God will make the people that are last first. So it's like people were already preying on your downfall, so you didn't want to let them know.
Yeah, I could not. I was like, this is exactly what they probably would think. I can't.
Yeah.
So I kept this secret.
And you stayed.
Yeah. And my dad passed. Now, my dad was alive. I would have showed. He would have definitely. I didn't know. I didn't have anywhere. But people began to see it at work. I was coming to work with black eyes. I was coming to work,
How
I had
long
my
were you
son.
with this man?
So we met in high school, but it was, I got in the army in April. So probably about 2 years. But the abuse lasted. We got our house when we moved into our house. So maybe the abuse lasted 7 months. 7 months. My son was 8 months because he was it was 18 months. His picture was 8 months. Yeah. We moved there when he was a year. Yeah. And so yeah, and that to me to this day, the most humiliating times of my life. Like, um, because it was like not just a and I hated it. I mean it made me hate myself. I hated what I allowed him to do. Um it made me, not trust my decisions, and and I was in an MP unit. I wasn't an MP, I was a support, but
What
I
is
was
an MP?
military police.
Okay.
And it's like
Oh,
you
you
go
were
to
a
work
military
I
police.
wasn't. I was a
Oh.
support, but I would go to that was my unit. And every day I walk in, I'd be like, the funniest thing, and which was crazy, is that we would call the police all the time. We were young, black, and we lived in this neighborhood, in a home, and so we would call the police all the time. And this is why I say, in domestic abuse, it becomes a system where everybody turns against that person. The police would come, and because I would be there, they no longer cared. So it'd be like they would even. I remember there was an incident with me and my leg was broken, and they told me to leave, and I said, on crutches. I was like, well, hey, we told him to leave so many times, and you still keep coming back. So maybe if you leave this time, you won't. And then they wouldn't let me take my son, and I was like,
Oh, I
so
cannot not go without my son.
So of course I'm calling, trying to beg to come back home that night because I don't want him to be home with my son. The people across the street, it was a German black lady across the street. She was German, she was black. Her and her husband, and she would witness a lot of times when it would be out in the street, and she began to not speak to me but speak to him. Right. And so
I wonder why that was. If she saw you being abused.
because when you stay, people don't understand. Like when
Yeah.
you stay, even I didn't understand. Um, I had put an actual restraining order against him at one point, and he broke into the house, and I woke up and he was strangling me, and I put a restraining order against, and I remember like, no, this is it. I'm leaving. But when you come from a place where you're like, where do you go? What do you do? This is my beginning of my new life.
Yeah.
I kind of got numb. And the last incident before God, because God was the one that had to rectify it, I would pray. Sometimes I know he would just leave the house as I'd be in the bathroom crying like, Jesus, please take him out of my life. God, please, why would you let him do this to me? Like, pray so loud. And I would pray and cry myself to sleep in that bathroom, wake up, he'll be gone, right? And I knew he had a church background as well. But it's almost like you said, a demon, like an aggravated. The next time it would be even like worse.
And sometimes your light will disrupt the darkness in people. So sometimes they have a darkness in them, and like you're this being of light, and it bothers the spirit that's on them.
That's very true.
Yeah, it bothers that spirit that's on them.
Yeah. But God, I didn't do anything in that situation, but don't ever wait for that. Now, I didn't do anything in that situation to end that situation. I tried, but the last incident, he broke a glass table over me and had this knife, and I got the knife. I got the knife back, and I was going to do it, and he kept saying, well, do it then.
You were going to stab him.
Yeah, he was laying on top of me on this broken glass, and I had the knife, and I remember I just went numb. I went numb for that week. So I didn't have any words. I didn't have anything to say. There was nothing. Like, God finally removed. I had no feelings, and he became a little nicer during that week. And I remember the last day he was like, hey, I'm gonna go. He cooked this good meal, and he was like, hey, I'm
so
really
he was
gonna
nasty,
work on
then
me.
he was nice.
Yeah. He's like, but he was also gambling. So much was going on in that household. I would come home. Sometimes we had no appliances in there. He would pawn everything.
What? He was on drugs?
I always thought he was on drugs. I know he was on like weed and different things, but we don't do nothing like that.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a little something hard.
That's what I always said. And he was in a dark place, and the devil could have been trying to get him because he was a good kid.
The
he
devil
was really
will.
A really good kid. When I met him, kind of like a little, like.
But that's exactly what the enemy will do, though. The enemy will see someone like on their path, trying to connect with God on a straight and narrow journey, and then the enemy's like, okay, let me put this in your life. Let me take you through this so you could try to turn away against God, like Job.
I always thought that was it. I don't know. I hate to say I don't care anymore. But I don't. I care.
But that's okay
Yeah,
if you don't care.
I
I
don't care
mean, wish
anymore.
him
Yeah.
well wherever he
Yeah.
is. God bless him.
Yeah. And we this being able to sit here and say this is something that you know, he never has talked against it, but you know, like God sent him that night to jail. They did a crime with something. I don't even know if he really did the crime, all of it. It don't even matter because he was doing other things.
Yeah.
That night when he left and said, I'm going to get some cigarettes and stop by, he never came back home. Ever.
But you were praying though.
I was praying.
You were praying.
He cooked everything was good. I went late. I had no feelings. I don't know if I would ever. I had no feelings. I couldn't speak. I didn't have a word for him at all.
You were done. You were checked out.
Yeah. To really in a bad place.
Yeah.
To a point where even after, like, nervous breakdown, like just not like not there. But God just removed him. I got a call. Hey, this is so-and-so Pro Marshall. And he had been arrested for different things. And then I thought they were going to say, like, hey, come get him from jail. He was like, yeah, I'm going to need you to come out in the morning and get his personal things. I was like, huh? Yeah, he's been arrested for armed robbery, so-and-so, like 4 different charges.
So that's when he went to prison for that 15 years.
Yeah, and so,
wow.
Yeah, so I was like, okay. I was halfway asleep. So I go down in the morning, like, okay, I'm here for so-and-so and so-and-so. And they're like, okay, his stuff is here. Are you guys going to be getting an attorney? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, huh? What's going on?
Get an attorney, yeah.
And it was military. It was a military installation, so it was a little different in the civilian world. And so, I was like, huh? So I was like, can I see him? And he can only say so much. And I didn't see him. Well, I went, and so this is how your mind works. In the beginning, I played along with the game because in my mind, I'm safer now. Now I go visit him. We're married, and I have this son.
Yeah,
I visit him in prison. This is the right thing to do. You know, you go see him. I didn't know my feelings. Oh, I love.
Did you still? You still love? That's what I was just about to ask. Did you still love him? Love him at that time?
I had a love and fear relationship, and I didn't know that I had that. It was a sense of freedom when he was gone. A sense of like
peace.
Yeah, like, oh my God, I'm gonna sleep. No, nobody's gonna put me out of bed because I don't even know what.
Yeah.
Nobody wants my car today. I'm like, but then it occurred to me that I was really afraid of him because we had moved to Georgia. I was stationed at Fort Benning and then from Fort Bragg, and he was sending me these cards and stuff, and he was like, hey, it's your birthday. I got somebody coming to bring you a gift. And I was like, somebody like who? He was like, somebody I was locked up with. And I'm like, why? And
don't send him to my house.
Yeah, I was like, why? And so we're in Georgia, where both of us were from Georgia, but we're in Fort Benning. And I don't know what God was trying to tell me, but that night it was a car, like an old car, you know, when a car's old and it like shoots out noise, like sounds like a gunshot in the neighborhood, in the military installation. And I woke up straight up out the bed, and I look, and it's this guy coming in my parking lot with Georgia tags, but it says DeKalb County. So we all the way down to Fort Benning. So I'm getting nervous in my heart, and I'm so scared. I'm like, oh my God, he sent somebody here to kill me. Like, I don't know why I woke up thinking. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just like,
because you're used to being abused.
Yes, but it didn't occur to me that I was still carrying that into that moment, and that's when I really knew in that moment, like,
got to be done with this.
This is over.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I couldn't literally say it to him. I felt this guilt, but I in my mind had decided this is not my husband.
Yeah.
And I had even, I was like, hey, can y'all take Keon to see him? Like, I had started to realize, like,
separate yourself.
Yeah, like you have to start with a new life. And I realized I'm afraid. You don't want to admit that to yourself, but you're afraid. You love him and you're afraid. And my best friend always said, like, so what you gonna do? Like, this man is not for you. You gonna just wait around all these years for him? And so God removed that, and in time I was able to like get away from that. And I've seen him, you know, I invited him to my son. I've never had the conversation with my son about the abuse. I never had the conversation.
So your son doesn't really know?
He doesn't. I never wanted to speak bad about his dad because my mom spoke bad, and I had a great relationship with my dad and his family. That's how I got raised with them. But my mama took the opportunity to speak bad about him whatever she could.
Yeah.
Right? And I saw them together.
And kids remember that. Yeah. And it's like, you know, you have to remember your child is half of that person. So when you talk bad about the other parent, that child's like, well, am I that too?
That is the whole, that right there.
Yeah.
I never wanted him to think that you could be an abuser. I never wanted you to think that, you know, you're going to struggle. I never wanted him. I only talked about the good things because we had a lot of good things as a kid, as kids, you know, fall in love. And so I talked about how silly he was, all those things. So I didn't know that too could be hurtful if you talk too much. I wanted him to know he came from love, which he did. I wanted him to know that, that this was a union of happiness.
Yeah.
And so he grew up as a young baby, really excited to see his dad and thinking his
And
dad was just
thinking
strong.
he was a good person.
Yes, and sometimes you can lay it on thick. I think I laid it on thick because it was an absence of a father there. And then my father wasn't there, and he had great uncles, that was great. But I think I did it because my son became older, and he started to communicate with his dad. He still to this day, he probably watched a little bit of that story. He might watch a little bit of this.
Yeah.
I know he's 27.
I was about to say, how old is he now?
27. Okay. Don't give my age all the way, girl.
She's 12.
Okay. Truly. So now that he's older,
he'll be able to handle it though.
I think, yeah, I may have waited a day. I for a long time I felt like, what does that matter? Why do I need to tell him that?
Yeah.
So I would just say, as time went on and he questioned why his dad didn't do certain things when he got out of prison, I'm like, your dad just been in prison so long, he don't know how to love the correct way. He loves you, but he doesn't know how to love the correct way.
Yeah.
I would make these excuses up and tell my son. And so now they're communicating on their own. I don't have anything to do with it. I had to literally tell him, don't call my phone anymore.
Yeah.
Because he went on to tell my son lies because he was afraid that I had told him the truth.
He wanted to beat you to the punch.
Yes.
And people will do that.
He literally said it too. He
said,
well, I didn't know what you had told him. He told my son, your mom tricked me into having you, which is not true. Which was not even the first.
Why would you tell him that?
And I had to tell him, why would you say that? And you still calling my phone and want to talk to me. And he a grown man. Go call him.
Yeah, call him. He has his own phone.
Yeah, and so I don't speak to him. I used to pray for him because I had an understanding of me coming from broken areas. I was broken as a kid. And so even when I moved past him, I didn't want anything bad to happen to him in prison. Because I'm like, he's a kid. Like, we very much had things. The thing about me is that all my broken pieces was right there.
Yeah.
And I didn't know he was broken as a kid. He was this good church boy that cut hair at the barbershop and worked at KFC sometimes.
Yeah.
But he knew I was broken. And so when I realized he was broken, I would be like, God, please don't let nothing happen to him in prison. Please, Lord, don't let him do nothing. Please, Lord, let him make it through prison. Praying because I just couldn't bear the thought because he was still part of me through my son.
Yeah. And you don't want your son to experience grief or experience pain. And a lot of times some people, you might know, you knew that you were broken at that time, but sometimes people don't even know they're broken.
Yes.
And something triggers it, then everything starts crashing down. Yeah. And
people don't like to admit that's why the hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
People don't like to admit, and I'll just say generally, like in families, when you have people and you don't like to hear what they're saying, you don't want to hear, you are literally making them stay in that place where they can't heal. Like, it's not your story.
Yeah.
And even if you like, I was there, that didn't happen that way. Let that unfold for them. Maybe it didn't, or maybe you came at the wrong end. But whatever they're feeling inside, it has to unfold. And you
have to respect that because that's how they heal and that's their truth. And a lot of times, especially with parents, sometimes you could tell them something. Well, when I was a kid, this made me feel like this or this happened. That didn't happen. Yeah. Well, no, I did experience it like that. Or sometimes even growing up, don't say you're depressed. Well, I am depressed. What should I call it? And a lot of times you just can't even take, fault for our parents because it's hard to change a tree that already has roots that are deep.
That's true. I know me and my daughter, we struggle sometimes with our relationship. She's not my birth daughter, but I've had her since she was 4. And I know she was ready to get away from me when she was in college. And some things that she has came back to say that my son and Mallory were like, that never even happened. And I was stuck where you were at. And I start not saying anything.
Yeah.
Because I realized like, maybe in her head, because of her knowing that I wasn't her real mother, that's what she saw.
That's what she saw. Her perspective was different.
Yeah. So I'm like, maybe that hurt. Now I was a definitely what we call the stereotypical black parent for my 2 older kids. Not my baby, he get over. But my 2 older kids, my son loves it. He's always like, Mom, I'm glad you did that because it taught me this. Maybe for her, knowing I'm not her mother, that wasn't good for her. So what she experienced to her was traumatic. And maybe that's true. So I stopped saying things. I allowed that space. It hurts sometimes because that closeness I was forcing is not there. And all of our memories are together. There's no, she has her birth mother, but all of mother, it was me. It was no visits. It was no, but just what you said, I start saying, because see, I have my aunt was considered my mother and I have my birth mother. And we had those things. I had to realize, oh, wait a minute. That's me. I have those same things. So I stepped back and was like, she'll let her love me as she gets to know me now.
Exactly.
Maybe things will be different. And if it's not, I'm appreciative for this, that we have. And so, so I definitely, I think my mother, my birth mother, like she was here when my aunt, my mother passed. She was with her. She was there. And I think that was again. I always think if you get to know me, I got signs. I think God always giving signs. I'm always a confirmation girl.
Always, because you're listening to it. God will speak to you. You just have to be present enough to actually take heed.
I'm the one listening.
Listen, God, keep talking to me, please, and thank you.
Yeah, I always got. Oh, that was a confirmation of something, and I really had to think on it. And I always feel like that was. I think she knew that something could happen. That's why she wanted my birth mother up here, and I think that
everything's divinely orchestrated.
I really believe that.
I do too.
And that's why I think even mistakes, yes, we're not. I think God gives us two paths. We choose one. We're supposed to go down. Everything is laid out for us. God had everything laid out. The other one, He know you might take it, and if you do, it's not going to be easy. But guess what? That road leads right back to the path He has for you.
Yeah.
So if you
He's
just
still
keep
there.
going, yes, you just go back.
Yeah.
But those things also are meant so you can understand what's happening on this journey.
Absolutely.
So I feel like you know you got to get there, but you can't stay like. You can be hurt and being broken. I always say if you're a victim of domestic abuse or mental abuse or any type of abuse, I think it's like being an alcoholic. I think that it's like you know, people are always like, hey, you know, they don't ever say like they're not an alcoholic. It's like, hey, I'm in my 4th year of this.
Yeah.
And I think the reason that people who have, you know, big hearts and people who are vulnerable to people who can see that you are a person looking for something is because we think that we are survivors. And I don't really believe there is a survivor. I know that's the term we use, but you are constantly having to be like, I got through this year. Because when you look for certain things, even though you get stronger and you feel like you've healed, there is still that big part of me that's always like, that's part of my personality. Oh, I want to help. And that part from a predator who knows can see that. Now, I may not go. So, and that's the problem when you heal. You get into situations with people who see that weakness in you.
Yeah.
And then you don't go the way that they think. Things aren't going there. They're like, wait a minute, she's supposed to be doing this. But because you've healed, you're not going. And that's
she's supposed to be broken.
Fatal.
Yeah.
Yes. And you get into situation. Now it's like, they want to shoot you. They want to, because this person, he is broken or she is broken. Yeah. And so you have to be very, very, so it's not like I always say, don't think that because you're out of that situation and you speak to women about it and you on this thing, you still have to be careful. That friendship is not for you.
Yeah.
You can't play with it. You know this person is a manipulator. I'm talking about female friendships. You can't play with it. That uncle that you love so much, you can't be around him because being around him, you are healed, right? But when you get around them and they're broken, they are desperate for you to go down like the situation. It's supposed to play out like
they
this.
Want you to be broken too, but that goes back to what you said, hurt people.
And that's it.
And they don't even know sometimes that they're doing it.
Yeah.
They want you to feel as bad as they do.
Yes.
And a lot of times when you heal, you have to make sure you're mindful of the places, spaces, and people that you're around.
Yes.
So you're not triggered. Because it's easy to be triggered.
It's very easy to be triggered.
Easy.
And it's very easy for people to mistaken. Because you're human. It's very easy for people to mistaken when they see a moment of weakness in you to think that they got you. Yeah. And sometimes you're not there and you come off, why are you so hostile? Why are you? Because you're triggering something in me and I'm not going. Because if I wasn't healed, maybe I would be going. I'll be like, it's me or or what else do you know? And that's the thing I think I struggle with because I still love to help people. I'm still very like, I'm the kind of person that, you know how some people get mad where you can be sitting there and you just came in, you just got off work and somebody be like, hey, can you go grab some milk and thing like, if I'm not doing nothing, I don't care. I'm going. It don't matter if I'm supposed to be this big. Going, I don't care. I'm not doing anything. Some people are really irritated. How could they actually go get the milk?
I just got off of work. You see I'm tired.
And oh my God, some people get really mad. That's so disrespectful. Yeah. And you like, it ain't that big of a deal. I can go get it because I'm very much, that's who I really am at core. But there are people that's looking to see, oh, she got up and went and got that milk. Hey, let me drop this and see if she get it. It's people that's out there like that. They want to see how far your heart really goes. How far, they befriend you.
Yeah.
Oh. And then they think they can control you. And so when you hurt, like you just said, and you have those things and you're healed and you see this person is hurt, the way that you help heal them is you have to remove yourself. You have to remove yourself because you can't give them a victim. And once you know they're out there, the people that surround them, you need to let them know because they need the help. They need counseling. They need that freedom.
Therapy.
Yeah, you need therapy. You can't put children in front of them. And the worst thing is a hurt adult with the child, and that's the only person they have there.
Yeah.
We talk about narcissism, and when you get more into it, a lot of narcissistic people, and they always like to put it on the men, y'all, but I hate to tell you, it's a lot of narcissistic women too.
Absolutely.
When you have that broken parent that don't know they're broken, and that is their lifeline, they don't even mean to affect their kids. This is all they have, their children. Yeah. It's like a disease.
And they don't know that they're doing it.
Have no idea.
They don't know that they're doing it. And so later on, the child's like, well, you made me feel like this. And it's like, I did?
You're the only thing I got in the world. So all
Yeah,
my
I
brokenness is
wasn't
just
even
you.
trying to, and that's why I think we have to be mindful.
Yeah, it
We have
is.
to
It's
be
important.
mindful. How did you heal? So we hear your story, of your past, your teenage years, adult, dancing and dropping out of school. But people be like, oh my God, there's no way she's gonna be successful. But now we
Mm-hmm.
look at you. You're producing shows, you have your own talk show, you have your own radio show, your own podcast. You're that girl. You're literally a dream. You're literally a walking legend. So, as you look
I
back now,
appreciate.
how did you heal?
I think it was just deciding to put me first and being okay with falling. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think healing is a journey. So I'm healed in regards to you'll see me trigger with certain people and I give them a whole deep like, oh, that's not Aisha. That's because I can connect with, oh, you
Mm-hmm.
trying me, and I have to let that person out. I don't feel the need anymore to be careful about, and that's the thing about, you asked me about time, like I don't feel the need anymore to be so careful about other people's feelings that I don't care about mine. And
Mm.
I think you
Mm.
have to get there. Like it used to be like,
Mm.
don't say that because you're gonna offend them. So Kim will always say like, girl, they don't know who you are because you just snap. It's not that. No, 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 no. It's not that. But as soon as something irritates my spirit and they come a certain way, the girl before would never check it.
Really?
Never check
That's
it.
so good. Because
Never.
sometimes I feel like, oh, you know what? I'm not gonna say something because I feel like I'm being mindful of their feelings. And a lot of times I've noticed that I am so protective of other people's feelings where I'm not honoring my own. And
Yeah.
it's just now in my big age of 37 where I'm like, nope, I'm gonna honor myself
Yeah.
and say something despite how that person may feel, because it's not fair to me
Mm-mm.
to minimize how I
No.
feel to honor how you feel. You know?
And guess what? When you don't have any negativity in your heart, when literally there's no feeling in your heart, like I'm not being mean,
Yeah.
you have every right, because guess what? A conversation can happen because you have nothing. So
Yeah.
when somebody comes against you and they trigger something inside you and you handle it right then and there, you don't have to carry it around. If they open to the
Mm-hmm.
conversation, you can have it because you didn't have anything negative in your heart,
Yeah.
but you refuse to be somebody's doormat. See, I think I let for a long time. I was so careful, and by healing, it's like I don't care if you think I'm crazy
Yeah.
because I have nothing, and I would give you whatever you need.
My intentions were pure. When you
Yeah.
know your intentions are pure, you sleep good at night.
You do. And when people, but you can also tell when other people's intentions are pure and meaning to hurt you and they're
Yeah.
intentional about it.
Yeah.
And so when you check it, it does, it allows people to step back. And when they see you in a different light. And when I start walking and put myself
Mm.
first a little bit, and I start walking, say, oh, it's okay to do this. And I start being okay with people saying, oh, she'll snap a little bit. Will I? No, because I used to be, she'll do it.
Yeah.
Ask Aisha, she'll do it. It used to be no, don't care about my schedule. Ask her, she'll do it.
That's why I feel like we connect.
Yeah.
Well, my hair used to be blonde too, but I like literally everything that you're saying. I'm like,
Yeah,
God,
yeah. And you always
she
got to
trying to
make
tell
up
me
for it.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know
I
so
want to
and
be
so.
nice. I
Yeah,
want to be sweet. Oh, I don't want
yeah,
them to think I'm mean. No, I'll get up out my bed to come help you.
yeah, yeah. So I don't do that at all, and I do get more
Mm.
negative feedback, but I feel better.
And
You know.
that's all
Yeah.
that matters.
Yep. But you have to be careful because there are big, God is always watching, but there's some big people out there that just as much as you are living in your truth, they are living in their devilish truth.
Yeah. And
And
it
I don't try.
irritates them.
Yeah. And I don't try to. You said something on our show I thought was so great. And I didn't comment because I wanted people to really get your message, but like you can only be responsible for yourself. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I don't like you said, you have the heart helper because you're a helper. That's what you're
Mm-hmm.
saying. That's what I feel like. I'm not a healer,
I'm
but
not a
but a
healer.
word, a smile. I feel like we all
Absolutely.
have that power to begin healing. When people see us, other people out here, like telling my story, you telling your story.
Mm-hmm.
When you talked about your story, that was huge because you're beautiful. People like, oh, she got it going, and you told the story. Me saying good morning when you didn't feel like it. I remember I was going through college. I was almost suicidal. I was like going through a process like crazy. And this lady said something to me and she just changed my whole feeling for the day.
Really?
And
She lifted your spirits.
from a word, and that's when words are powerful, not just in saying
Absolutely.
what we're gonna do, but that's why I'm so like one of my friends like, why you always saying how you doing, hello to everybody? Because I don't know who that day just needed that hello.
Hello.
Nobody said nothing to them. They didn't feel like they was recognized. They walked out the house. Nobody knew they left the house. So me saying, hey, how you doing, girl?
I see
Hey,
you.
yeah.
But you
Yeah.
make people feel seen.
And it's intentional because for a
Yes.
lot of years I didn't feel seen, no matter what, or I was seen for the wrong reasons. Seeing because she gonna do it. Oh, she thinks she pretty. I'm gonna show her how pretty she is. I was seen for the wrong reason. So it's okay to just be seen.
Yeah.
Just to be like, and people say, why do you talk to men? Because men are people too, girls. Like, it's like, yeah, I don't want to sleep with your man because I said good morning. I'm just like, they're dealing with things as well.
But men deserve to be seen as well. And
That's
I know,
right.
I hate when we have all these gender wars. Like, I'm not going to say hello to a man. He needs to say hi to me. Men deserve to be loved.
Right.
And having a son, I'm like, oh gosh.
That's what did it.
Having a son, like, I love saying hi to men. Like, oh, you got a nice smile. And it's not romantic.
Right.
Like, hey, King, I went to Sevenanda, the Black-owned grocery store here in Atlanta. And literally someone asked me how my day was. I'm like, I'm blessed. I know you blessed. You look blessed. He's like, man, I know God's been good to you. Just the way that you spoke to me. He's like, I know that God has been good to you. I was like, absolutely.
Somebody said that's flirting. Like, hey, that's a flirt. And I'm like, it's not.
It's not.
You can love people. It's the way you look at things. And so everybody's raised differently. And I don't want anybody stopping me from, because as I love on people, I feel better too.
Me too.
Sometimes when my energy is low and you get into those things and you say, hey, and then that person say, it's, and that's why I say that we can heal people. We help heal people by just the way we communicate with people.
Absolutely.
And so it's important to communicate and don't allow people to shut down that communication. And even when you speak, because I spoke to a lady the other day, baby, she did not speak back. And I know she heard me. It doesn't matter.
It's fine.
She couldn't have got that hello out, but she could have been feeling so bad. And maybe she's just a meanie.
Yeah.
But believe me, she probably needed it. So it don't matter if they speak back. You're not really saying it. You're just hoping you one word at a time, one thing at a time. It doesn't mean to don't compromise yourself, but little things is nothing.
It goes a long way. Someone told me years ago, and I forget, I was complaining about something. I'm like, I don't even want to do this or this relationship with this person. And he was like, you always have to remember you're not in a relationship with people. You're in a relationship with God. So treat people as if you see the God in them. Like, oh no, I'm not going to be nice to that person because they weren't nice to me. Literally at the end of our road, God literally is going to remember, hey, you fed this person. When you fed that person, you fed me. When you were kind to that person, you were kind to me. When you hugged that person, you hugged me. So now I look at him like, ooh, I don't even care if you're mean to me because I know I was looking at the God in you. Even if you don't see the God in yourself, that's totally fine. But I hope that you eventually recognize it.
Yeah,
that's it.
I think that's the most important part in life. People are always looking like at, they don't do this, or they smoke, they drink a little bit. Like, to me, I don't know what God is going to be judging us when we go to the gates of heaven. But I really, truly believe it's just those things you said. Like, it is those things that make us human. I think God is just really a form of love. And I think any wars that are being fought, when people talk about spiritual wars, I think our biggest weapon is love. You shouldn't be going out getting guns and stuff like that. You talk about you shooting up somebody because they in the LGBT community. You know what I'm saying? Like, love them. You just here to love, because that's what I feel like in every story that we read, it's all about love and relationship.
That's it.
So it's like, that is our biggest weapon. So when you start getting into what you don't like, we all have conversations about what we don't like, but you just keep moving in love. And love sometimes it's chastising, sometimes it's not, if it's not in your heart. If it's out of good, then it's not like, hey, I don't believe you shouldn't be talking to so and so. Why are you smoking this? You can give your high horse speech because it may be of some good.
Absolutely. And it's still love.
But it's still love.
Absolutely.
But you can't judge folk. That's not our job. Let that be what happens when they get up there to the gates. We can get up there and, like you said, God will remember what we did here for us.
And that's all that matters.
And so that's how you heal people to me. I feel like allowing people to be who they are, loving them where they are at. And that's how you just, we can start making a world. When somebody cut you off, I'm quick to go off, right? But when somebody stop, I say, I understand, babe. I got you, because at the end of the day, you don't know what happened in the household.
You don't know. Or where they're speeding to.
You don't know.
I'm just so in awe of you not carrying your hurt and hurting people, despite hurt people hurting you.
I may have hurt some people in my earlier stages of healing.
But
in my earlier stage, because I wasn't aware.
Yeah. But even like just you healing, how was your relationship with God then? Like, and how is your relationship with God now? Because you're such a confident woman, not just because you're beautiful, but I feel like you're spiritually mature. And sometimes people go through situations like you have, and it breaks them. They carry those bags with them. And that's why sometimes you can't take anything personal, because they're not mad at you. They're mad at what they're carrying.
That is
So how, was your relationship with God then? compared to where it is now? And I think that's an important question because people could kind of see it makes a difference. Because I know you run a faith-based organization and everything you do is because of your faith.
Mm-hmm. I think it was so. There's moments like growing up in church, religion and faith and spirituality is, since I grew up in church, is really a I won't say balancing act, but it's something earlier I went back and forth through. So it's like in the beginning when I was really needing God, when I was going through things, it was like I gotta read my word, I gotta go to church, and I think reading the word and being around people, that was really good, right? It was moving me in the right direction, but it wasn't okay, everything is fixed now, right? But I was yearning for that. I needed that in my life. And so my relationship with God, I felt like I was growing in knowledge. And I found a place where I can go for comfort. But I needed to build that real relationship with him. I had to acknowledge that he kept me safe without the people in the church. There was a relationship there. There's things that only him and I saw in the person.
He literally spared your life so many times, because I know you said you almost died. What was it, 3 times?
Yep, 2 within that relationship, and then this car accident, which really was a wake up call. And I think that when you, and this is not any knock to religion, what I see as religion. I need to go to church at times, y'all. So some of y'all might think that's religion. I have to go sometimes. I have to be around God's people sometimes. Even though church folk ain't right, I still gotta be around God's children. And the church folk is some God's children out there with the church folk, And so I have to sometimes just be amongst that to get healing. I'm not one of those people that have to be there like every day like I used to be when I was a kid. I don't have to do that. But I have to be there sometimes. And so I learned in that path, like, God is working in you.
Absolutely.
And I've been reading all these scripts trying to figure out, like, hey, people think that these are not real. What is this? And what I really just realized is that, like, I know that there's God, right? And I know that nobody but him has brought me in different places. So while I have healed from certain things, I'm still on a journey to healing. That trigger you talk about is so real.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I can wake up in the best and I can be completely confident. But you deal with, I'm currently married. I deal with people in there, and every day, my oldest son is a man. And so becoming a man, he has his own thoughts like a man. And he says something. I'm like, it's triggering. Like, you're not going to be that, but he's a grown man now, And
my 11-year-old triggers me sometimes. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh Lord, I know he didn't mean to say
I got a 15-year-old. He just so don't care. But that's part of that healing journey. You have to remember, like, okay.
Healing is a journey.
It is.
That's the key point right there. Because we think we go to church on Sunday and we're going to be great by Wednesday. Healing is a journey. It's constant.
Yep. You've got to, because it's no way to just fix things. You get through different levels. Like, you're like, okay, that doesn't affect me anymore. But triggers will come. Why am I not feeling my best this morning I woke up? Because somebody said something negative to me yesterday and I thought it didn't affect me, but now I woke up this morning and it's still there.
Yeah.
So I need
it's
to
bothering me.
Yeah, I believe in meditating, not like the meditation that we see in the movies, but because I'm in a spiritual journey, but prayer most likely, like prayer. And I have to sometimes, and I stopped. I used to believe like you got to get down on your knees. I still believe that, but that don't mean you miss prayer if you can't get on your knees.
Yeah.
So if
you
I
can pray all throughout the day, we can sit here and just kind of be in a constant state of meditation and through the prayer.
Yep. And I think people should know that, like, being in contact and kind of always giving, and I believe you have to say thank you to God too, y'all, not just put him down on with everything you need, but constantly having that discussion. I think growing up, I was taught to just talk to the Lord. And so it's like talking to your imaginary friend, but God is there.
Yeah.
And having those conversations, no matter what it's about, things that you like, oh my God, because he see it anyway. I think that allows me to allow myself. So when I get with people who try me and I feel like, oh my God, I'm going back to those old ways where I'm feeling a little depressed, I'm not believing in myself, I have to remember I talk every day to the one person that can give me strength,
Absolutely.
And sometimes they point you in directions, things you don't want to hear, but it helps you to heal. So that day, I always say it's like a video game when they say, like, hey, you have to go get this, this thing to get your energy, to get the knife or the gun. It's like a video game, and it's like, oh, I'm going to get energy. I'm going to get,
I need
my
to power up.
Yeah, I got to power up. And you go get that, and then today's a good day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow may be a different type of day. And then I always say, because in Atlanta, like you said something so funny, Atlanta sometimes not a real place.
It really don't feel
in our business, you could be in circles of people that make you feel like you all that.
Yeah.
Like in our business, like we're in podcasts, you see each other. People can make you feel like you're just doing it. Like, oh, and people believe the hype here in Atlanta sometimes. They believe it. Every morning I wake up and I have to be like, God, like, thank you. I know who I really am.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord, and please don't let me ever make anybody ever feel like I know I'm part of the great because you made me like that, but I am not the greatest. Okay.
Yeah.
I think
You
that'll
are
be
the
my
greatest. I'm
that's
just your
right.
servant
That's
to
right.
do whatever you've called me to do.
Yeah. And people get so caught up and sometimes they get stuck.
Yeah.
Because they think all my friends think I'm doing this. I got a little nice this. I got that. I know my parents didn't have that. My sister and brother them, they don't have that. So you start thinking you really somebody. You are somebody.
Yeah.
But you're not above everybody. You
Absolutely.
know? And I think that staying grounded allows for you to heal too, because you're open to not being like, oh, I already got the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I already know. God, yeah, God, we already worked on that.
Yeah.
It's like, no. God, today you saying I need to check myself a little bit more. My ego a little high.
Please continue. I always say that. Someone told me like, "Oh, you're just too humble. You're just such a pretty girl." I'm like, God, please always keep me humble. Mm-hmm. Keep me meek. The meek shall inherit the earth. Mm-hmm. I don't ever want to think I'm too pretty. Mm-hmm. I'm too successful. I'm too this. I'm too that. Literally, I'm only here to serve God and do what God's called me to do.
Yeah.
That's
People
it.
will say, why you not really walking in what you're supposed to be walking in? Oh, I am walking in what I'm supposed to be walking in. Your way of walking may be a certain way, but God got me walking here. But people don't even see. You don't show this, you don't show that, because that's not my journey I'm on.
Yeah,
God has me on something different.
Absolutely.
This is how I move. And people need people like you, and people need people like me. And so at the end of the day, it's just a matter of I have now got a real personal relationship,
mm-hmm.
and he convicts me sometimes like it's time to go on back, or hey, you haven't been in this. And I have to be careful with that, because people will see that you love God, and then their conversation when they come to you and be God, God, God. You think I can get that deal? God, 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 because they'll hear it.
And they want to connect with you in that space, but then the whole time they don't even believe in God. You have to be mindful of that, because I talk about God a lot too, especially in dating. Men be like, oh, I love the Lord, but there's a difference between knowing of God and having a relationship with God.
I had a lawyer; he was trying to get me to come over and do some work with them in his organization, and I had conversation with him before. And when we had our real meeting, it was just Jesus, Lord. He had went back. I was was so taken back. I almost listened. He was like, "You've been so quiet." I was like, I didn't know that you were so. I mean, are you like newly saved?
Yeah.
I said, because I asked new saved people. They just, are you newly saved? And he was like, no. And I was just like, oh. And it turned me so off, because he was using the conversation that I spoke, and my natural. Sometimes I don't. Anthony's telling me, girl, they pick up on that because you say something about God or something every word,
and they'll use it against me. And discernment, though. Discernment is so important, because God will let you know who you need to do business with, who you need to be friends with. God will, like you mentioned earlier, having that nudge not to go to that party. God will literally let you know. God will let you know. So talking to your business as we get ready to close out, what is next for you? We know you got your radio show. You have Eline Productions and Media. You're producing other reality shows. You're doing a lot. And I know a lot of people give you titles, but your title that you give yourself is a storyteller, mm-hmm. which she does very, very well. What are you working on? What's coming up for you?
I'm working on me. So
Amen to that. Amen to that.
So all those things, I recently partnered. Well, it's been a while now. It's been a year. I partnered to kind of take off some things, like some of the, now I wouldn't say producing, but I was going out. I don't want to be over employees no more. And so I partnered so that I don't have to be directly over mm-hmm. people anymore, so that I can start to brand. I am going to take my storytelling on the road, meaning am going to be, I talk a lot. People don't know I talk with some of my clients, like YC. I go out and speak all the time for them. But I want to talk more on stages and offer opportunities, like for women like you, for us to talk to larger audiences mm-hmm. of women. And Eline TV, which we haven't really worked on in the last few years because we've been doing things for people, individual platforms. I'm bringing that back to be somewhat of, I'll just compare it because people know, of a new time, Lifetime. Remember when
Lifetime? I love Lifetime.
It used to be good back in the day.
Girl, when I had my baby, my mom would be on the phone like, she in the bed with that baby watching Lifetime. Me and my son be cut it up.
They're a little different though now. And I want to bring back that a platform for real stories, where we share stories about survival. Mm-hmm. Geared towards women a lot, but men as well, but mostly geared towards women's struggles. I think that women, we're born as influencers in this world.
Absolutely.
So, where we wear leadership roles, and people gonna hate me for saying this. We are in leadership roles, right? But I do think that those roles are connected to how we empower our men in the world. So I feel like
helpmate.
Yes.
That's Bible right there, though. That's the truth.
People get upset when I say that. It's not. It's like My grandmother, she was a big time pastor, bishop when she died, big church, did a lot. People knew her pay. They would see my grandfather
Mm-hmm.
beside her, they knew her face, right? Story was he bought that church for her, that big old church everybody went
Hello.
to. He provided everything, penny she needed, everything that she needed. When something had to be done, it couldn't happen without
That
that
man.
man. And so I think sometimes we were born, yes, to their companionship, but we have the largest influence. When we say they do things for, videos and stuff for us, we influence them so largely. We give birth to them, whether you can give
Yeah,
birth out of your body or out your words. God put something
absolutely.
in women to
To
give life.
birthing. Yep.
Yes. And
That
so,
is so good. God put
yeah,
something in women to birth life,
yeah.
and it doesn't have to be a child.
Mm-mm. You could do that to your partner, your man.
Yeah.
You can grow
That's
something
what
with
we're
them.
good at. I'm so
Yeah.
glad you said that because you could literally speak life into someone where they could birth a dream. And I
And
feel
women do
like,
that all the
yeah,
time.
and
Yeah.
women are okay with being submissive to a man that knows how to lead.
Don't have no problem.
I want to be
Yep.
submissive. If you know how to lead and I know that we're going to be going into the right direction, that's why I think it's so important to be in purposeful partnerships.
Yep.
Because a man becomes more powerful when he gets with the right woman,
That's right.
and a woman becomes more powerful when she's with the right man.
That's
Because now
right.
he could give you vision like, hey, Jody, you're so good at this. Let's make sure we direct you in this place.
That's
That's why
right.
partnerships and marriage is important in our community. We don't need to be against each other.
We do not.
We need to
Yep.
come together.
And that's the stories I want to show. I want to
Yes.
show stories of love, and it's not of like romantic. It's just a relationship with our men in our community, what we should
Mm-hmm.
be doing, and why we shouldn't be so intimidated if we work so hard. But our name is not up there. But because through your son or your husband or your male partner or through you are there, and a
Yes.
good man is going to make sure that's known. And sometimes it does. You don't even have. It's already known, babe.
It's
You don't have. You
already,
don't have to
yeah.
be. It doesn't have to be. So I think that I want people really to. I want people to understand that that's what we're going right now. So
Yeah.
you'll see Wilson A a lot more with all my names. You'll see Wilson A because my talk shows and our platforms are going to be all geared towards the stories we start telling. So it won't
Oh,
be
I
so
love that.
Eline Media production. Although that'll still be there, it will be more my name. I want people to start hearing Wilson A and start
Absolutely.
touring with more women. And yeah, so
I think God wants that for you. Whatever I feel in my spirit, I'm like, oh, I just feel that for her. I even feel like the day of a lady will be bigger than you could probably imagine. I see
that's what I'm
that for you.
claiming.
Yeah. I feel you even taking that to different cities and having different dynamic speakers. I definitely see that
And
for you.
check this out. Day of a Lady is actually under. So Wilson A is a coaching and consultant. So Eline Media and Production is my business.
Mm-hmm.
Ebony Stevens was what birthed that, and that's not a business anymore. My baby business. But I created this Wilson A because I wanted my dad's name. He has all girls, and we
Mm-hmm.
just found out I had a brother. To live on. So Wilson A is coaching and consulting. That's what
Mm-hmm.
that business is licensed in because I did so much consulting with women businesses and coaching. I never did anything. The only thing that I did under it was Day of a Lady. That's the first thing Wilson A ever did. Besides, the business and coaching, but I never did anything, like big except for Day of a Lady.
Yeah.
And now Wilson A has become my name for radio, my podcast name. But Day of a Lady is 5 years old. It's the sixth one coming up, 6 years old. And that's
Mm-mm-mm.
the only thing under Wilson A. That's what started it all. And so I do believe that I'm really trying to be quiet sometimes and just let God talk to me.
Yes.
And not move too fast over all the anxious things. I don't want to put it in the wrong direction. And so yeah, so that's what in the future I want more people to know about Wilson A. And not only me, other stories. And I want them to know how, as women, we influence the movement for women is not just about women. It's about so we can move our men, our sons in a direction
Our
of power. Yeah,
community.
because it's we give birth to things.
Yeah. We're mother. We
Yeah,
nurture things
yeah,
back to life. Like I said, it even in Genesis when it says be fruitful and multiply, it's not just mentioning having children because we know there's some women, there's some men that can't have children.
right.
So the Bible is never gonna lie. So you can still be fruitful and
That's
multiply
right.
despite not being able to have kids. Being fruitful and multiplying is hey, God put a seed in you. How are
Yes,
you going to plant that seed here in this world?
right,
Be fruitful and multiply.
right.
Use your gift.
Yep. And that's what I want to motivate people to do. And I
Yeah.
want women to know it starts with them. So when I say I've been every woman, I've been the fast woman, I've been the fat woman, I've been the ugly one, I've been the pretty woman, I've been every
Listen,
woman.
she's
Yes,
every
right?
woman,
Yeah, and you
okay?
are too. And so is another, but we have to recognize it. We
Yes,
have to recognize it.
recognizing
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And so when I say, hey, this is where we need to go, we need to support. It has to start with us,
Yeah.
for our men to feel good about themselves, for our men to feel supported. Yeah, I know he cheated, girl. You can't forgive him. You may not be able to stay his mate, but if there's something God put in him and you know you're supposed to support him, you have to be
Yeah.
obedient to that. You can't be his wife,
But
but
you
there may
can,
be something bigger for
yeah.
y'all to do and get that off the ground. And so I think sometimes we just forget it's more than just, I'm your woman.
Yeah.
We come with a lot. God has blessed us to do a whole lot. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I love everything about you, and just hearing your story, because we've met, but when I
Yeah.
saw really what you sent me back via email and the things that you've gone through, thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for living in your truth. Thank you for telling your truth, because someone's going to listen to this and it's going to be like life
I
changing
hope
for
so.
them. And that's why the Heart Helper was created, is
Yes.
because we can't heal you, but we can help you. And I
Yes.
think that's the most important thing. How can people find you?
They can go to, oh Lord, okay, this is where it gets hard. You can go to at Ebony Stevens, EboniStephenS, or you can go to at Eline, just like it says, ELINE Media ATL. There's the names, but those are the two names that you should be concerned with. I'm going to get it down if you can go there. And you can always listen to our show, the Wilson A.
Yes.
Midday Show on 1010 The King, where if you're listening to her, you can listen to us. We're there every
Same.
day.
Yes, this is
Same,
my
yeah.
sister.
Yeah.
And of course, I'll put all of her information in the podcast description.
Yes.
Please reach out to her. I know that you guys are definitely going to be inspired by her story. Let her influence you to be a healed person that heals other people. You don't have to be hurt and hurt other people.
That's right.
And as I close out, I ask every guest this. So I'll start the statement and you'll finish it.
Ooh.
This is always like my favorite part. I love hearing people's responses. So the first one is, I am
a motivated, loving human being.
I can.
Do anything I put my mind to.
I will.
Be an influence and inspiration to others.
Love is.
Everything.
And God is.
Everything.
Everything. Y'all, I hope that this episode blessed you. This was Aisha Ervin. Please listen to her, follow her show, reach out to her, send her a DM, but you could become everything that you want to be. It doesn't matter about your past.
That's right.
All that matters is your future, and what you wants you. Keep walking towards it. Thank you for sharing your story.
Well, can I thank you?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. We never know we're gonna find people in the world we connect. God will give you a tribe.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know you're busy, I'm busy, but God will give you a tribe, people that you know are like-minded. And whenever you need to connect things and get things right, and people you need to pray with, and I felt that from you, and we didn't even speak a lot.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me here on the show.
Thank
you for pouring into Kim, for pouring into Latressa. Like, it's important when you recognize people, the guys. You don't have to go out every day and ruin your relationship. I'm so appreciative that I know that you exist in the world, because now I know, hey, when I need to call on somebody for some strength, I know where to come to. So thank you so much.
And vice versa. It's an honor to meet you. I don't think it was by chance that Tamika was like, hey, you got to go to this event. It was not by chance. And every morning when I am going somewhere, I pray, God, let me meet who you want me to meet. And I do believe that you are someone God wanted me to meet. And I'm thankful for you.
Thank you.
Yay.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This was the Heart Helper Podcast. Until next time, be sure to listen, like, share, and subscribe. I love y'all. Have a blessed week.
Yes.